It is a winter evening in Hollywood in February 2001. Traffic moves steadily along Franklin Avenue. Porch lights come on across small apartment buildings tucked behind hedges and palm trees. A front door on Pinehurst Road stays closed longer than it should. Inside, a dinner grows cold on a table set for two. By the time a friend knocks and gets no answer, Los Angeles is already shifting into its nighttime rhythm. Cars fill the streets. Music carries from nearby apartments. The city does not pause when something goes wrong inside one room. Hollywood in the early 2000s is a system built on proximity. Film sets sit a few blocks from quiet residential streets. Valet stands operate outside clubs near rows of modest duplexes. People arrive, leave, and pass each other without learning names. Being visible feels like safety here, even when it is not. On February 21st, 2001, 22-year-old Ashley Ellerin is found unalive in her apartment. Friends alert police after failing to reach her. Los Angeles Police Department responds. An address becomes a case number, a room becomes evidence. Outside, the street looks unchanged. Cars remain parked along the curb. The sidewalk carries people past the building toward the next block. The city holds its shape. Inside, investigators begin documenting stillness, entry points, physical evidence, what was left behind, what was moved. The system starts assembling a picture from fragments. This is how a case begins in a city this large, not with answers, but with records. Ashley moves through multiple social spaces. She bartends, she makes plans. She tells friends she is meeting someone for dinner that night. Those plans become time markers. The hours before the call to police tighten into a narrow window. Neighbors are interviewed. Some recall noise, some do not. A dog barking. Music from another apartment. Information thins as it spreads across walls and hallways. Absence becomes part of the record. The street continues to carry traffic. The building continues to hold residents. The system keeps moving forward even as one timeline stops. A night passes, then another, and the address remains open in a file. This is not yet a story with edges. It is a space waiting to be defined. The case does not remain isolated. In September 2001, another woman, Michelle Murphy, survives an attack inside her Hollywood apartment. She reports that the person involved lived nearby. She gives investigators a name: Michael Gargiulo. The system begins layering files. Gargiulo is familiar in the neighborhood. A maintenance worker, someone who moves between buildings, someone who understands access points. Which doors lock, which ones do not. Police question him. A DNA sample is collected. At the time, the system does not close around him. Records are filed, evidence is logged. The city continues its daily motion. Years pass. In 2005, in Sunland, California, Trisha Picaccio is found unalive outside her home. A new case opens. The file remains unresolved. Another address joins the map. The timeline stretches forward and backward at the same time. In 2008, in Palatine, Illinois, Maria Bruno is found unalive in her apartment. Neighbors report seeing Gargiulo at the scene. He is arrested in connection with that case. DNA evidence links him to the 2001 attack on Michelle Murphy in Hollywood. The system accelerates. Older files are pulled from storage. Genetic profiles are compared. Timelines are aligned. Addresses are placed side by side. Ashley Ellerin's name returns to the front of a folder. This is how pressure builds inside an institution. Not suddenly, but through accumulation. Different cities, different years, separate nights brought onto the same calendar. In 2011, Gargiulo is extradited to California to face charges related to the unaliving of Ashley Ellerin and the attack on Michelle Murphy. The courtroom becomes a place where distance collapses. Years of movement are reduced to sequences. Motions are filed, proceedings stretch forward. Evidence is reviewed again. Outside the courthouse, Los Angeles continues uninterrupted. Freeways fill every morning. Sunset Boulevard opens every night. The system absorbs delay without slowing the city itself. Time moves differently inside records, and the calendar keeps tightening. In 2019, a jury convicts Michael Gargiulo of the unaliving of Ashley Ellerin and Trisha Pacaccio. He is also convicted of the attempted unaliving of Michelle Murphy. The verdict arrives nearly 18 years after the winter night on Pinehurst Road. The legal process concludes. But the record does not disappear. Court transcripts preserve dates. Evidence tags preserve sequence. DNA profiles now carry names and outcomes beside them. The system closes files, but it does not erase them. The apartment building on Pinehurst Road remains. New tenants move in. Mailboxes change names. Porch lights still turn on at dusk. The sidewalk continues to move people past the front door where friends once waited for an answer. The timeline from 2001 to 2019 fits into a paragraph in court documents. 18 years. But the city lived those years as thousands of ordinary days. Days when the file sat untouched. Days when no one knew the name connected to the address. Days when the street looked exactly the same as it did the night before. The system does not record those days. It records dates, case numbers, evidence logs. The genetic profile that once waited alone in a database now rests beside a verdict. The address remains a point on a map. Traffic still slides along Franklin Avenue. Palm trees still line the block. Los Angeles outlives every case it carries. What remains is not an explanation. It is a record of how long a city can hold an unanswered night inside its files. How many years a system can return to the same street and check its own memory. The calendar keeps moving, even when a date stays circled somewhere in a file that no longer needs to be opened.